Hey internets, it's the magic word with Paul.
And Diego, of course.
And we're going to be talking about the Commander 15 black-green decks today.
Ooh, black and green.
So the first card that we have is, of course, the cover general for this one, which is Meren of Clan Nel Toth.
What a tongue twister that is.
Yeah. So this is a human shaman who costs 2, a black and a green, for a 3/4. When another creature that you control dies, you get an experience counter.
Ooh.
And then at the beginning of your end step, you can put a creature from your graveyard into play if it's what is it? If its converted mana cost is equal to or less than the experience counters you have. Otherwise, it goes back to your hand. So either way, you're going to get a card back to your hand or into play on the battlefield.
What's not to like about that? I like her already. That's just amazing.
I like that card.
Yes, indeed. Oh boy. We get to this next card that I kind of really like from this deck. It's called the Pathbreaker Ibex. 2 green and 4 for a creature goat. Ooh, a goat. It's 3/3 and says whenever Pathbreaker Ibex attacks, creatures you control gain trample and X+X until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Wow, reminds me of Craterhoof Behemoth in a way.
Yeah, it's similar.
But you just keep doing it. That's amazing. Wow, that's quite a goat. Amazing. So that's kind of one to look for.
Watch out someone doesn't play Goatnapper against you.
Oh God. But yeah, you better don't you start doing that now. But those of you who still hold on to your Goatnappers, yeah, that's another thing. Next thing, I really like this dragon. I think it's cool. I'm going to put this in my deck. It's called the Scourge of the Nail Toth. Oof.
It sounds Klingon.
Yeah. 2 black and 5 to cast this Zombie Dragon 6/6. Flying. You may cast Scourge of the Nail Toth from your graveyard by paying 2 black and sacrificing 2 creatures rather than paying its mana cost. Ooh, well that's pretty cool. Judging in black, there's a lot of sacrificial things, and then you can always profit off that with Grey Peck and any other thing that kills other things because of sacrificing. Because there's always sacrifice going with black, so that's pretty good. It could be reoccurring, this zombie dragon. I like it. I think I'll probably put it in my Endrick deck because I'll be spawning a lot of Thralls, but that's for another time. We can talk about that. Otherwise, I just like that dragon. Ooh.
So now we got a snake. It's the Skullwinder.
Skullwinder.
It costs a green and 2 for a 1/3, and it has Death Touch.
Ooh.
When it comes into play, target opponent can get a card from their graveyard back to their hand, and you get to do the same.
Ooh.
So, but you have to target your card in the graveyard. They don't target theirs because if there's no cards in their graveyard, doesn't matter. The ability doesn't get countered. They just don't get anything.
Oh.
So you're probably going to want to play this when you have something in your graveyard, and they don't, because you're going to get all the benefit.
That's cool. He's like pretty much Snake Witness in a way. Interesting. Ew, it's kind of a nasty picture. It's coming out of a skull. Oh, whatever. Then we get to the Wretched Confluence. Ooh. 2 black and 3 for an instant. Of course, as we all know, you can choose 3 or choose the same thing 3 times. Target player draws a card and loses a life. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. And it says return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. Ooh, that's something to like. You can give something -6/-6 if you'd like to. Or you can draw 3 cards, lose 3 life. That's not too bad for an instant. I kind of like it because it's instant speed, so you can do that at the end of their turn.
Yeah, I feel like that one really benefits off the instant speed because they're not all great abilities, but you wait till you see what the opponent's played on their turn, and then that'll let you determine, ooh, I need to get my creature back, and I need to give that creature -4/-4, something like that.
Right, and what's not to like, because most things you do is at the end of their turn would probably be the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And then it gets to your turn. We go to our next card, Bloodsport Thranix, for 2 green and 2 for a lizard 2/2. Devour 1, as we know. As this creature enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This creature enters the battlefield with that many +1/+1 counters on it. Each other creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on Bloodsport Thranix. That was kind of hard to get
That's
through.
a lot of 1/1 counters going on.
That is crazy. Just imagine the doubling season and all that stuff that goes with it. That just gets even more confusing. Just reading through that was enough. Just reading through any other hard card. Ooh, this card's pretty cool.
So this is the Dread Summons. It costs 2 black and X. Each player puts the top X cards of their library into their graveyard, and for each creature that was put into a graveyard this way, you get a 2/2 zombie that comes into play, tapped. So the tapped is not that great, but what do you expect? Because you're going to get probably a lot of zombies out this way. It's including yourself, so you probably have a lot of creatures in your deck already, because that's why you put the card in your deck. So you're going to get a lot of zombies. You're going to get zombies out of the opponents too, and then you're just going to be able to attack and kill people with them.
If you only just throw in a nice little Amulet of Vigor, those zombies won't come into play tapped.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they will, and then they'll awaken.
They'll untap.
Yeah, exactly. Next card we have is, I think you're a fan of this card too,
The
Paul?
Great Oak Gaujin.
Great Oak.
He costs 5 and 1 green for a 4/5 tree folk with flash and reach.
A tree with flash?
Yeah.
And reach? Well, then again, there you go.
It's the flash tree.
The flash tree.
When it comes into play, target creatures that target player controls get 2/2 until end of turn, and you untap them. So,
whoa.
This is another guy to play in response to a big attack coming at you.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Especially if you have a lot of little tokens too. If they're somewhat, if they're weak, they're not weak anymore, and they untap. So you got nice blockers to go with that. So all of a sudden, someone attacks, and then you're like, tree, and there's the tree, and there's your blockers. Untap them. Hurrah! You're saved.
You wipe out all their stuff.
Exactly. What's not to like about that?
And another thing that's kind of unique about this card is that it says target player. So you can flash the tree in and block something if they're attacking you with one creature, but then you can give another player's creatures 2/2 if you want to save them because you're doing politics or something like that.
Right, and you can actually untap all their creatures
Yeah.
and have them, if they're being attacked greatly.
Yeah, if you need to save your teammate or something.
And sometimes, yeah, politics is part of the game. You want someone to live because you know in order to kill the other person, you probably need them alive because they might have something. So that's always part of the game. We go to our next card, the other legendary of the deck, which is Mazarek Crawl Death Priest. Costs 1 black and 1 green and 3 for a legendary creature insect shaman. Ooh, boy. Flying. Whenever a player sacrifices another permanent, put up a simple counter on each creature you control. And this creature is 2/2. Ooh. Permanent. Wow. Feeds all your stuff, counters. Whoa, that's not bad. I can see that thing going off pretty easily in a nice hint of black, hint of green deck, you know? Because all that stuff comes together.
Yeah. And in the, they were also saying in the article that it was shown in with stuff like Terramorphic Expanse and Fetchlands, even those sacrifice.
Oh my. It does count that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So you can add
That's amazing.
really quick.
That racks up quickly. That's
Yeah.
So people are going to be land ramping like that, and you have this little bad boy out.
And
Hey!
he has flying, so he can get big quick. He can fly over and knock people down.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. I like that guy already.
Yeah.
So that's the those are the new cards from this deck that is coming out. So we hope you like it, black and green feel, and those of you black and green players, I hope you like what you heard. And yeah, like you say, if you like it, go ahead and get this deck and so forth.
Yeah, we'll see you next time, Internet.